November 9th, 1989. A day that rewrote history, a moment that lit a flame of hope in a divided world. The fall of the Berlin Wall was not only an epical event, but the tangible representation of a dream shared by millions of people, the dream of freedom. But behind that magical night, there was a story made up of courageous whispers, of warning signs that announced the end of an era. In this video, we will retrace the steps that led to the fall of the wall, reliving the emotions and hopes of those who, with tenacity and sacrifice, believed in a different future. Eastern Germany, a nation divided in two, where the wall represented not only a physical barrier, but also an insurmountable border between dreams and reality. Separated families, broken lives, a climate of oppression that suffocated any desire for freedom. But beneath the surface, a river of hope flowed silently, fueling the desire for change. Small gestures of rebellion, like the drawing of a butterfly on the wall, became symbols of hope. Students demonstrating peacefully to demand reforms, artists singing songs of freedom, ordinary citizens gathering in prayer to invoke a better future. These were the courageous whispers that challenged the regime, the first signs of a discontent that was growing exponentially. But before we dive into these revelations, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. The fuse that exploded the situation was the arrival of Mikhail Gorbachev to power in the Soviet Union. His policies of glasnost, transparency, and perestroika, restructuring, breathed new hope into the hearts of Eastern Europeans. People began to believe that change was possible, that the wall could fall. The street demonstrations intensified, involving more and more people. East Germany was on the brink of a revolution. Another important signal was the increase in the number of escapes from East Germany. In 1989, the number of people trying to escape over the wall reached a record high. Entire families were divided, people risked their lives to achieve freedom. It was a biblical exodus that demonstrated the unsustainability of the regime and the desperation of the population. Honecker's resignation was another important signal that the regime was collapsing. The new government, led by Egon Krenz, attempted to implement some reforms, but it was too late. The people had already taken their destiny into their own hands. On November 9, 1989, the entire world watched in disbelief as the Berlin Wall fell. But behind that magical night, there were years of struggles, sacrifices, and hopes. There were the courageous whispers of dissidents such as in East Germany's civil rights movements, inspired by movements in the United States and other countries, activists such as Barbel Bali and Marion Brash began to organize peaceful protests against the regime. The Protestant Church played a fundamental role in providing a refuge for activists who engaged in the struggle and in spreading information about the protest movement. The musicians, singer-songwriters such as Wolf Biermann and Bettina Wegner used their music to criticize the regime and to encourage people to hope for a better future. The Oceanic Street demonstrations, the desire for freedom of an entire people. The fall of the Berlin Wall was the victory of hope over fear, a warning to never stop fighting for one's rights and for a better future. The fall of the Berlin Wall was not the work of a single individual, but the result of a collective movement involving people of all ages and backgrounds. Political leaders like Willy Brandt, human rights activists like Rosa Parks and Nelson Mandela, ordinary citizens who joined the protests, they all contributed, with their courage and determination, to the fall of an oppressive regime. It was an event that reminds us that freedom is a precious commodity that should never be taken for granted. It is an event that teaches us that even the most oppressive regimes can be overthrown if the people have the courage to fight for their rights. We invite you to share this video with your friends and leave a comment with your reflections on the fall of the wall. What did this event mean to you? What is your message for future generations? The fall of the Berlin Wall was a moment of great joy and hope for the entire world. But it was also a warning to never stop fighting for freedom and democracy. In a world still divided by walls and barriers, the fall of the Berlin Wall represents a symbol of hope and unity. A symbol that reminds us that together we can build a better world.